It's about 7 p.m., so I'm going to go ahead and call this regular meeting of the East Lyme Planning Commission to order. And just start with a little roll call. Nicole Davison.
Here.
Rich Gordon.
Here.
Michelle Williams is here. Myself, Jason Debo.
Here.
And Thomas Fitting, Kirk Scott are not here tonight, so we'd like to see Brian Baum back as an alternate. And if we could move into the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
I have none.
Okay, great. So public delegations, I will go through this for the record, but I don't think we have any tonight. In any case, public delegations are a time when members of the public can speak to the commission about certain matters, issues or concerns related to approved subdivisions, in-house proposals, or general topics of discussion are open to comment. Agenda items, referrals, applications subject to a decision by the commission, a public hearing, or in litigation may not be discussed. Anyone here for public delegations? All I see are a bunch of very familiar faces. Hello all, good evening. Okay, moving into reports. Any communications?
I have no direct communications at this time.
Okay. Zoning representative. So I'm not sure if zoning met on May 4th. I do have some notes from April 20th. Tim was the liaison for May 4th, but on April 20th, they had a public hearing and approved a new mixed-use development by the area of Bishop or Baptist Street, where Cafe Sol is now, and that multifamily home that was approved. There are some regulation revisions under consideration for the CB district. I think that this commission weighed in on those at the last meeting, but they continued that, didn't make a decision on that as yet. Approved some outdoor dining for Gourmet Galley. In fact, I think I saw it already in use. Todd Donovan had a proposal for the clubhouse, which is a indoor sports baseball instruction facility on Industrial Park Road. That was continued to the next meeting as well. And May 18th, our zoning liaison is Kirk, so we'll make sure that he's able to get there. Did everybody get the zoning liaison schedule sent over?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Just to let you know that the zoning commission's last meeting was canceled.
Okay, excellent.
You said next week is canceled?
No, their last meeting. That's what.
Yeah, so
while
this
Tim
one on the
isn't
4th.
here, he wouldn't have gone anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Weber, do you have any updates for us tonight in our ex officio report?
Just real quick and easy. And this is probably too low. Clear. Cool.
I would never have that worry.
Just, I think you all know that the annual town meeting was last night, and the referendum is going to be May 18th. There was no significant issues that we've had in our last couple of meetings. One thing I was going to mention, because back in 1999, I was on the zoning board, and what we did between the zoning and the planning commission is when we had regulations that had to be, we wanted modified or such, we included some conversation about what that was. So when I look at the zoning meeting minutes, Mr. Peck's motion was fairly clear, or was more clear in the purpose of the change. But what came before your board, I think, was more a nuts and bolts, section 9.3, mixed use 2.5, and there was some confusion about what was really needed. So I would recommend that you consider reinstating that kind of a little better clarification for why motions come before you from the zoning board.
That's great feedback. Thank you. Mr. Gaishel, any updates as our planning director?
I do not have a report at this time.
Okay.
My apologies.
All good. Continuing on the no report this week theme, nothing new to report on the plan of conservation and development, and nothing to relay in a chair report either. So let's go ahead and move on to acceptance of the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the meeting minutes of April 11th?
So moved.
Thank you, Nicole.
Second.
Seconded by Brian. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I'm going to abstain as I was not present. So motion passes 4-0-1. Okay, no public hearings tonight, and let's move to Attorney Gaishel, who's going to talk to us about Kristen T. Clark PE's and Shelley Harney, the applicants for Portside Holdings, LLC, owner application for a 5-lot subdivision at property located at the corner of Upper Walnut Hill Road and Holmes Road, East Lyme Assessors Map 55.0, Lot 3.1, zoned RU80. Now, this was submitted to us on May 1st. We received it. Date of receipt is May 9th, and we have 65 days to render a decision on this application, which brings us to July 13th. So, with that,
Madam Chair.
I'm not sure whether it was Attorney Gaishel or...
did I say Gaishel? I meant to say Garrity.
It's all right, it's a battlefield promotion, so...
That's a, yeah, how do you feel about that? Calling you a lawyer.
I've been called many things.
I was going to say... he's a
I'm so sorry. Which of
No-
you would like to
no
duke it out to go
problem.
first? Okay.
Okay. Paul Garrity for the applicant. I have, I mentioned this to Gary, these are the engineer's signed plans for this. They're included in the subdivision application. But since, I really don't have much to say tonight, other than it's the first round for this property in about 70 years, so it doesn't require a public hearing for purposes of the subdivision. Beyond that, since we don't have staff comments back at this point, since it was recently submitted, I'll defer until we have an actual hearing on it. I can say that Ledge Light, I believe, may have signed off on some of the properties last week. I don't recall. I've been out of the office a lot the last week and a half, so a little crazy. But I was on my way home, so I figured I'd stop by.
All right,
All
great.
right, thanks.
Thank you. So I'm going to suggest that we move to continue this item.
Agreed.
Okay. Do we have a motion to continue?
Well, yeah, just
Oh,
for
yes,
clarification, if you're accepting it tonight, you don't need to, well, now I'm going to get confused. All right, I don't think you need to continue it. You just need to set it down for a hearing within the 65 days, because I think if we say continued, it creates the impression that the hearing commenced tonight, and that starts, yeah.
There's no hearing
You're
now,
going to
right?
just table discussion?
Table. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
great. How about that?
I make
How about
a
a motion to table?
I make a motion to table.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Second.
Thank you, Rich. And all in favor of tabling this item?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? All right, thank you very much. Thank you, the real Attorney Garrity.
Have a good night, all.
You too. We do not have any zoning referrals or municipal referrals tonight, which brings us to old business, the review of subdivision regulation revisions. Director Garrity.
Director Gaishel.
Oh my gosh, I did it again.
At least you're consistent.
I'm glad this is being recorded for posterity. Oh,
Maybe it's a foreshadow.
yeah, great.
The law degree. Okay. Excuse me.
I do know their names.
Okay, so of the last meeting, we had distributed hard copies. If you don't have a hard copy, I'm more than happy to get you a copy. That being said, our staff help, Allie Christensen, her laptop unfortunately crashed and she lost all the information on it. So we kind of had to start over with changes. So that being said, a lot of the work that she had been working on has been lost, but the primary changes that I was really pushing forward based on some pending litigation, kind of the impetus for these changes, are still captured in this document here. Particularly was in section 4, dash 14, applicable commission agency, applicable commission and agency reviews. 4-13 as it reads is, I've changed it to, that should all be red. I'm not sure why that's not in red. But an environmental review and evaluation versus an ERT review. And the text is slightly different. It says subdivisions where the land to be subdivided consists of environmentally sensitive resources such as, but not limited to, wetlands, steep slopes greater than 25%, water courses, flood hazard areas, ridge lines, etc. Shall be subject to an environmental review and evaluation by the East Lyme Planning Commission. And I threw in there the East Lyme Commission for the Conservation of Natural Resources. That's an option. We don't have to go there, but and again, that commission, other than their advisory to the town, essentially, as needed. This requirement does not preclude the commission from requesting an environmental review team (ERT) for applications which do not meet the above parameters, but concerns are still there. So it kind of takes the requirement of a ERT out, but requires this commission to do that job. And as I think I mentioned at the last meeting, that it kind of inherent in the regulations are the requirements to submit the information for the environmental review. So this kind of just expands on that. Section 4-14, actions which may significantly affect the environment. So this section basically comes from the federal level. In terms of an environmental impact statement, the state of Connecticut typically is the only organization that would have to do an environmental impact statement for their projects. As the statutes are currently written, it appears that every state department has to do their own write-up and evaluation, then submit that to OPM, who then submits it to the commission, to another commission for the environmental quality review. They call it Socorro, I think. So anyway, following kind of that outline, there's no direction or guidance for municipalities in terms of environmental impact statements or review. But I think they have some good information there, and so we take their definition basically of what significantly affect, actions which may significantly affect the environment and what that means. And essentially it's any activity or sequence of planned activities proposed to be undertaken which could have a major impact on the town's land, water, air, historic structures, and landmarks as defined in, I left it blank, we're going to have to give that a place and define what those items are in our town. Existing housing or other environmental resources, or could serve short-term to the disadvantage of long-term environmental goals. So, and it goes on to say such actions include, but not be limited to, new projects and programs, and any new projects supported by state contracts and grants, but shall not include 1, emergency measures undertaken in response to an immediate threat to public health or safety. Thought that was important. 2, activities in which the Planning Commission's participation is ministerial in nature, involving no exercise of discretion on the part of the town, department, institution, or agency. Your get out of jail free card. And then what the impact assessment would require is any business, corporation, entity, or individual responsible for initiation of actions which may significantly affect the environment shall make a detailed written evaluation. And when items 1 through 8 here are all the requirements for that document. So I left it in the same place in section 4. You can certainly move that if you'd like.
Thank you for this work.
Section 3. The other section I was looking to change, and I think the draft that I had handed out incorporated it, having to do with the taxes, and the taxes having to be current prior to making application. Similar to building permits, the building official will not or cannot issue a building permit without the taxes being paid, and I believe that's through statute and ordinance, if I understand that correctly. Here, we're making it part of the regulation because there isn't a town ordinance that requires it to be paid in terms of a subdivision application. and that's in working with our tax assessor. She indicated there's a number of subdivisions that go forward, or have gone forward, without the taxes having been paid prior, and the conveyances to nonprofits and the like, where they're exempt, have created some issues in terms of those taxes and what they are in collecting them. So hopefully this would alleviate some of that, that issue. I don't see that section in here, so I'll have to add that back in.
So in terms of logistics, unless there's another section that you want to go through together.
I was thinking maybe I might be able to find the draft that has the,
So this doesn't have to be decided tonight, correct?
No.
Yeah,
no.
so.
Yeah.
I just want to try to be, we're here, so
Right.
I have your attention, but I'm kind of a little unprepared to go further because I wasn't expecting the document to be.
I totally understand. That's what I was going to say. That's what my question was leading to. In light of Allie's unfortunate technology situation, which, big bummer, we have all been there. So much empathy to Allie. Please pass that on. How would you like us to move forward with feedback? Do you want to give her some time to kind of get the document closer to where it was before we submit
And go forward, yes.
anything? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If I may add just a minor detail.
Mhm.
Kirk and I were in agreement about keeping some kind of environmental review in there, and I know that we went around with that for quite some time, and I think this is a good job at finding that balance. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, great work. So we'll wait to hear from you as to kind of when you're back on your feet and ready to accept feedback. And then I think what we've discussed as a group previously is that we'll kind of go through these edits, section by section in terms of review, but save our vote and public hearing until we have kind of critical mass on what we want to accomplish so that we can talk about it all in one public hearing versus several on small sections of the regulations. Does that sound, okay to this group tonight? Okay. Okay. So, we will wait to hear more. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, but
Not all the way.
there was a whole paragraph that went with that
Eesh.
word. So, okay. I'm gonna have to look. So, gallant effort, I guess.
Is that? This is was the first draft. We changed it from that. But it's in the
There we go. There it is.
Great.
I did something.
Wow, I bet you feel relieved. I would.
Yes. Okay, so here's the section on taxes. The taxes must be paid current on the property subject to the subdivision. Documentation from the tax collector indicating that taxes are current shall be submitted. In the event the taxes are not current at the time of application, the commission shall determine the application to be incomplete and deny said application. Pretty clear.
Mm.
And then this does have some other edits in it, so that's, I'm glad I stumbled upon this. Those were the two major edits, and then we had some others throughout, and again, as I said, Alex. So we'll work off of this document.
Okay.
We'll get it in order.
All right. Great.
And hopefully by next month we can be there.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Any new business tonight?
There is none.
All right. Then I am going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Jason.
Second.
Thank you, Nicole. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? All right. Thank you very much.